Hi, this is Wendy Justice, Southeast Asia correspondent for International Living. And in today's video, I'd like to talk to you about why I moved to Vietnam and the different reasons behind that. But first of all, if you're enjoying our videos on YouTube, please like and subscribe to our channel and click the bell icon to be notified when there are new uploads. Don't forget to leave a comment if you have any questions for us. So I've been in Vietnam now for nearly 9 years. I'm currently living in Hanoi, though I've lived in both Da Nang and Nha Trang previously, so I'm quite familiar with the entire country. Um, the main reason why I moved here and why I especially like it is just the friendliness of the people. I've always felt very welcome. I found this to be a very easy place to make friends. The Vietnamese are very curious about foreigners. This is a country that was closed off for many years and they've reopened. And people are just really wanting to know what's going on outside of their borders and what life is like in other places. So they're very fast to introduce themselves to you, offer to take you out for coffee, offer to have you meet their families or come over to their house for dinner. Most of the foreigners who live here find that over time they have more Vietnamese friends than they do foreigner friends, and I think that's something that really makes Vietnam quite unique in that way. Um, the other thing I like about living specifically in Hanoi is that this is a city that's 1,000 years old, and everywhere you go you'll see signs of ancient history here, temples that are centuries of years old. Many of the beautiful old French colonial mansions that were built in the 1800s and early 1900s are still standing, as well as the stately trees that were planted by the French. So it's just a wonderfully scenic place to be, and just sort of to get in touch with an ancient way of life that in many ways is still evolving. You'll see many villages throughout Vietnam where traditional handicrafts are still just done in the old ways, where they make silk by hand or they make pottery by hand, and these are very, very prized things here. Just as an example, here in Hanoi, I recently went to a photographer's house um, who was a photojournalist for the news and picked up this wonderful photograph that he took 50 years ago. And this is printed on paper that is handmade from bark and flour. And believe it or not, this and another one like it here I got of the Citadel, which is also in Hanoi. These are 50-year-old pictures. And I can't wait to get them framed, but I think one of the really nice things about it is that they cost about $4 each. Which brings me to another thing that I really like about Vietnam is the incredibly low cost of living. We find that we can eat here quite well for less than $5 a day, and that's going out for meals. Um, Everything here costs less than it does back home in the U.S. And it's really a big advantage of living here. I found that anywhere in Vietnam, two people can have a budget of $1,200 or less a month and live very comfortably. That's eating meals out, it's having a housekeeper, it's getting manicures. You're not really having to scrimp and save. In fact, you don't even really think about money here because it is such a low cost of living. Another thing I really like about Vietnam is the climate. Farther south in the country, in Ho Chi Minh City, for example, or Phu Quoc, areas where many expats live, you have really warm tropical weather year-round. Here in Hanoi, we're more than 1,000 miles north, and we actually have winters here. We have cool to cold winters, we have hot summers, and we have a delightful spring and autumn. So pretty much whatever sort of climate you'd like to have living in Vietnam, you'll be able to find it here. There's even a hill station known as Da Lat, which is about 6,000 feet in elevation in the mountains. And that's our city of eternal spring, where the temperature has never exceeded 89 degrees um, and can actually get below freezing on some evenings. Geographically, Vietnam is one of the most photogenic countries. You may have seen pictures of Halong Bay, which is quite near to us actually, in Hanoi, outside of Hanoi. But you'll see one of the tallest, some of the tallest mountains in Indochina are right here. We have over 1,000 miles of beaches. Just a very attractive city. Wherever you go, take your camera because you'll find something that is just strikes you as being pretty amazing, or at least it does with me. Food here, this is a healthy lifestyle, and local food tends to be very fresh and have lots of fruits and vegetables. Um, and Vietnamese are very health conscious. They spend a lot of time outdoors, they exercise. It seems like they're eating all the time, but they never gain an ounce, and that's because they have such a good and healthy diet here. Um, Finally, I think it's just Vietnam is a carefree country. You'll see it on the roads where, it seems pretty chaotic the way people drive, but it's also quite safe, and they're really not all hitting each other. It's not nearly as dangerous as it might look to be. It's just the attitude of the people that, in Vietnam they say anything is possible. You might see 6 people on a motorbike, an entire family, maybe they're moving and they have furniture, they have a refrigerator on the back of their bike. And these are things that just make it fun to go outside and just fun to look around and feel that you're a part of it. So those are a few of the things that I really like about living here, and I hope sometime you can come out and see it for yourself. Thank you.